Recording is on. Hey everyone, welcome to CTS Career and Technology Show. And today I have with you my guest. Today is Vivek Ananda. He is the director of products at Purple Talk, and I'm having it's a lot of pleasure to meet him and discuss with him. So, just a quick introduction about the guest. He has been a director of product, as I said, and he has been working in the gaming industry since last 10 years. So, we over these next few minutes, we're gonna discuss on what he thinks and how he chose his career and what does he suggest to the younger generation. So, welcome to the podcast. How are you today, sir?
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Uh, so yeah, I've been doing good. Gaming is something which is very much close to my heart, and I've been in this industry for the last 11 years, and worked on multiple products ranging from a brand which is close to a lot of kids to creating our own brands. So yeah, this is something which has been very close to my heart, and one of the main reasons why I've chosen this industry is I have that passion to play games. I've been playing games since childhood. One of the reasons why I have this much sight for the glasses. So
Right.
that has been one of the reasons. But yeah, uh, no regrets of choosing a career which is not so mainstream.
Got it. So that's the main reason for the interview is because you chose this career. Gaming nowadays is booming. There are a lot of things that have been discussed about gaming. KTR said that there's going to be a gaming plant that's going to be set up and all that. This is
Right,
now the current generation. So you
right,
at least being a you took this decision decade old, right? So as you said, you had a
right,
passion during the kid. When you were a kid and you played a lot of games and all that. But what
right.
made you believe that this would be the future?
So, one of the prime examples I would give is, when mobile games were launched. So a lot of people, at least in 1990s and 2000s, they were playing only PC games or console games. And with the mobile industry booming from 2009, uh, Apple App Store was released in 2009, and everyone has started playing games. So people who were hardcore gamers, who were actually playing PC and console games. Now, a lot of casual audience and a lot of family people and a lot of people who do not even know games have got into games because of mobiles. And one of the prime reasons why I was very keen to get into this industry was I was looking at all of the games, and for example, Angry Birds, which was a great hit in 2009.
Right.
Rovio company has actually built 48 games before, and 48 games were failures. One game which turned their fortune was Angry Birds, and that has
Right.
become a household name right now, right? So,
Right.
uh, usually in software industry, you go to a job and you do what the client tells you, or the product team tells you, and you're just done with it. But a game, if it's your own product and if it's successful, then everything around you changes, right? Not only in the financial terms, but also that is something which you enjoy. So
True.
that's the prime reason why I've chosen this career. And as I said, a lot of games like uh, Mario and Contra, CS:GO, all these games were there from 1980s and 1990s. But things that changed drastically for the entire global gaming industry was mobile. And every person I meet in a metro or a subway or uh, you know on a traffic, they just open and they just play games. They don't even know that they're gamers, but they just play. I'm not saying that they're hardcore gamers, but they're just used to
True. The casual
playing
gamers.
games.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
More like
so
a casual
everything
audience.
changed because of mobile. Everything changed because of the mobile industry. And even mobiles are actually uh, being developed in a very they're actually gaming mobiles right now, right? So
True.
apart
True.
from what you have iPhone or Android, there are a lot of companies who are actually focusing only on games. So gaming industry is much more bigger than music industry globally right now, right? So 10 years back it was not that case, but it just happened with me. I was actually working on a client project which was which was almost done, and I was looking at what next, and then this opportunity just came to me, and then I just grabbed it with both hands because I was very passionate about that.
Awesome. So again, 10 years ago, right, these all these courses about gaming and everything were not in place, right?
No.
So
Yeah.
what was the career that you chose? Like as you said, you were working on a client project and everything. So what, just give us a viewers a brief on what basically is your career path, and how did that help in this transition?
Yeah, so I did my master's in business, and then I was actually working as a project manager in one of the startups. And then I got into this Purple Talk company, and I was actually managing a few client projects. And all of a sudden, there was actually a gaming project which was given to me. And then I explored not only in the project management front and also on the product, and how do we market that game, and what would be the art and what would be the game design for it, and a lot of things have actually been very interesting when I started that project, because when you play a game, you play that game, and but something that clicks is, okay, how did that particular person jump from this place to this place? I just clicked the button, right?
True.
So there was an action which was being done. So
Right.
when you are a child and when you're playing these things, you will actually think that, okay, these are some of the things that programmers do. But apart from game development, there are a lot of other things that a game needs, right? Starting from game design, art, making sure that the game makes money, all these things come into picture. So yeah, those are some of the things that I was very passionate about. And then it just clicked, and I started learning more and more about the product management, and how to make money out of these games, how to make these games interesting, uh, what would be the how what would be the ways, what are the different ways of acquiring different users, how do we market this, what is the story behind it, how do we get the audio. A lot of things apart from game development was my forte. And in the last 10 years or so, it's just kept on increasing. The passion to learn kept on increasing. And one mantra, which I make sure that I don't reuse whatever I've learned in the last game, because every game is different, every game genre is different. So whatever you have learned, you just have to make sure that you unlearn and relearn, right? So new
Okay.
things have to be learned every day, right? So that is something which is very much possible in the gaming industry. And yeah, these are some of the things that I've actually learned in the last 10 years. Apart from, a lot of people think that game is game development, but apart from game development, there are a lot of other things that come into picture to make a complete game.
Got it. So that takes me to my next question is, what are the different fields for one game to come
Yep.
out, right? So if you can,
Yep.
basically explain that so that people can know what different career options are possible from this particular field.
Right, right. So I'll take an example first. For example, if you're taking a subway surf, right? There's just a character, and then there's a police running behind him. And what is that one thing that clicks? There's no story behind it, right?
True.
There's no why is that person actually following that kid? Because he was doing a graffiti, right?
Right.
Graffiti is illegal on a subway, and he was doing it, and then immediately the game starts. You just click on it, and it starts. So
Right.
here, development is where you're actually coding, and you're making sure that whatever controls you're doing, the character is actually performing those actions. But art, 3D art and 2D art, like UI buttons and 3D, when it comes to animation, when it comes to concept art, all these are very, very important for a game to click. You cannot just have a skeleton over there, right? So you need to have a character to that. So these are some of the things that an artist does. And then
Right.
UI and UX is very much important. And then when you look at the game, there are a few things that come up, like you have to collect this word on this particular day, right? You collect PINK,
True.
pink,
Right.
4 letters, and then you are given a bigger reward. These are some of the things that create engagement among the users, right? These are called live ops. Live ops is where
Okay.
you make sure that the person actually the player feels that, okay, I have to go and play the game, to make sure that I collect that reward. So there is a constant push in players brain that, okay, there's some reward waiting for me if I just play for 2 minutes. And then that hook is something which that makes the player come back to the game every day, right? So these are some of the things. And then how does everyone know about service surfers? You have to market it. You have to make
Market.
sure that
Right.
you're spending money, you're acquiring users, you're making sure that you're talking to Apple and Google to make sure that uh, these games and these events which are actually going on, they have to be featured. So you have to have a personal connect with App Store and Google Play Store, and then community managers, right? So I've taken a small example, but they are very big games. But I'm just giving you a small example so that everyone can understand that game, because that's basically a household game, right? So
True.
and then community manager, when there is a particular problem, there's customer support. But how do we build a community around that game, right? I've seen that a lot of towns and cities, they actually have Subway Surfers events which are not even related to the company, right? They have an event down the road, and people just come there and they just play, right? And that's how the marketing started, way back in 2013, 14. Everything changed recently, but a lot of conferences, a lot of small events also had these communities. And then testing, QA is very, very important for any game, because for a game it's not an automated script that you run and that gives you results. You have to make sure that every case is being handled, so a lot of manual testing
Right.
comes into picture in gaming. And then making sure that the project goes on time, so project management is important. So, and audio, right? So audio and voiceovers are equally important, so that actually gives the theme of the entire thing. So a lot of departments. And again, so this is one of the examples, but to give you a fake picture, game development, game design is not art. Game design is how do you picture the game out, right? So game design is not actually art. Game design, game development, game art, game making sure that monetization, engagement, and all the other KPIs are on plan. So live ops, engagement, product management, project management, audio, and art. Again, it's 3D, 2D, UI, UX, concept art. So a lot of people. So generally, the reason why I'm taking this much elaborate explanation is
Right.
uh, people think that, okay, gaming is complex, and gaming is complex, but it's equally fun. And the other thing
Right.
is, gaming, usually people think that it's only development and coding. No, there are multiple opportunities in gaming career, right? So you don't need to have the coding skills, or you don't need to have C++ or C hash to make sure that you do it in Unity or Unreal Engine. So even though you're not very good at coding, there are ample opportunities in gaming industry. Of course, game development is still very much important. There are huge opportunities in game development, but apart from coding, there are other opportunities or other fields you can actually shine in as well.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So thank you for a very detailed explanation on all the different career options possible in this one. So again, as you know, a lot of people when you say game, they think game development, as you said, right, or a designer. That's the two posts that people think of. But there are so many
Correct.
things that each and every field for a game to come out positive, for a game to make sure it's successful, is a whole lot of other things. So
Correct.
do you prefer like these guys who are fresh out of college or something have a specific college degree in gaming, or is any degree okay? You don't
Uh,
specialize in that. Is a industrial question.
See, it not really a college degree as such. I mean, you definitely need a degree if you're getting into game development. Then
Right,
yeah, you need to have some sort of computer science degree, or if it would be awesome if it's a gaming, gaming college. But nevertheless, if it's not a gaming college, even a computer science degree where you have learned basic coding skills is equally fine. But if you want to become an artist, then yes, you need to have tools. You need to make sure that you understand Photoshop, Maya, or all these tools. So it would
got
be
it.
great if they have animation certificates, or arena animation, or whatever other companies, other
Players are, yeah,
institutes are there, so
right,
they can get certificates from there. So it's all about how you take that in the interview, right? So interview may you have to make sure that if you're an artist, your portfolio is very important, right? So you cannot just go to an interview as an artist and say that, okay, I've done this, I know Maya, I know this. You have to show what is your portfolio. You have to show what you have created, right? So
right,
a portfolio is very important when it comes to game development. I would say, even though you do not have a college or a gaming college degree, I would say, even though you have worked on personal projects or some basic games, like a Pong, like you do a Pong game, or your basic games, even the personal projects, if you can bring them on the table and if that opposite person can actually download that game and ask question about you, the entire conversation would be basically about that game. So there's nothing as such that you need to have a gaming degree. Anyone who is actually passionate about getting into gaming industry can enter. So there's no restriction that it has to be a gaming college.
Got it. Got it. So again, going forward with the same question again, just a small extension. For a game developer, let's talk about one specific career, game developer. For artists, of course, they
Right,
should have a fine arts degree or something. They should be into
right,
the creative field, and they should be able to show that to you. That is what the
right.
creativity is, and that right, and that sorts. But for a game developer and other gaming positions which require pure gaming, are there any universities out there in India that people can enroll themselves into and then make sure that they get a degree?
Yeah, things have been changing in recent past. In Hyderabad itself, there's something called Backstage Pass, and then there are multiple colleges in Delhi. But I think a lot of things that are taught in these colleges, uh, they are very much useful. Of course, when you come into gaming industry because you know the tools and you understand games.
Right,
But practical exposure is something which is very important, and that
right,
practical exposure comes only when you are in the company, only when you join as an intern, or when you get trained in a gaming company, right? So every gaming company has different sets of procedures and all that, and how they train the game developer freshers. But yes, as you said, a lot of gaming institutes like Backstage Pass, and they've been doing a lot of you know uh, you know they're actually doing great to the gaming industry, because they're pumping in a lot of people every year, and gaming companies are actually recruiting from these colleges, and the training time which usually takes is much lesser than any
normal
other
any
college degree,
graduate. Got it.
right? So yeah, these I would say, instead of thinking about what kind of college and all that, I would recommend people to attend the developer conferences which happen in the city, or just go and meet a lot of people, because connect is very important. The networking
True,
part is
networking is
very much
important.
important, right?
Right,
So even though you have done a gaming degree, there's no 100% sure that the college gives you placements, right? So you got to make sure that you have your own network, and that network is possible only when you meet people from the industry, and that is a great place. The conferences, or game jams or hackathons. You just go there, just have fun, learn about what is being done, because uh, for example, in an institute, they would definitely teach what is Unity and how do you move an object and all that. But what requires in a company, or what requires in a particular game, would be completely different than what is taught, right? Theoretical
right,
exposure and practical exposure are two different things. So uh, anyways, any fresher, if they show that they're passionate and if they are skilled enough, we would train them. Any company would just take a couple of months to train them, and they're just put into the projects, and they'll
right.
learn from that. So a person who is passionate would go up the ladder very soon.
Got it. Got it. Very clear. So we've done talking about the gaming industry as specific, right? Specific positions and all this kind of stuff. So, when's let's say, what are the what my question is I'm trying to frame is: are there any programming language which you answered? Unity is one of the programming language that is majorly
No,
used.
Unity is a game engine. So Unity
It's
is
a
not a
game
programming
engine.
language.
Okay, okay,
Unity is a
okay.
game engine. So a game programming languages which are used in developing games are C, Java, C++, Python,
So just like a
C.
normal software language. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm saying anyone who is actually a computer science graduate can get into the gaming industry, because these programming languages are taught in your degree, C,
Right.
C hash, C sharp, C++, Python, Java. And then the reason why I was specifically telling about Unity or Unreal Engine are, the main reason is these tools have already figured out the physics aspect of a game. You don't have to write everything from scratch.
Got
These
it.
tools
Okay,
help
okay.
you in which the physics and the motion and all that. So you know in using Unity and using the C sharp, you can develop a game. a 3D game or a 2D game.
Got it. So these are different game engines. I thought it was programming language. So
Yes,
it's just
no,
like a normal
these are
programming
game
language.
engines.
So it's just like you
Yes,
learning that language, completing a degree, coming to this specific gaming companies, and then you basically channel that into how you can use it in this particular gaming fields. It's as simple as that.
correct,
So it's not a
correct.
barrier as such that you need to know this Unity
Not
and stuff.
really,
Right?
not really,
So,
not really. So, game development is one thing, and for anyone who is actually interested in art and design, there are colleges like NID where they can pursue their degree, the National Institute of
right,
Design. So that's just wanted to put that out. And then if you're just a normal graduate, and before even entering the interview, you wanted to understand what are the different things that are being done practically. There are a lot of courses on Coursera, Udemy, or YouTube, and which are available for free. So
right.
they can just go there and they can learn about that particular programming language, or a game engine, and then they can just enter the industry if they're good.
Got it. So my last question of this session would be basically to are there any specific courses as you were just referring to Udemy and YouTube and everything, right? So are there any specific courses that these guys can work on, or just go there and search for the multiple options available, and then basing on what their style of reading is, pick and choose.
Yeah, I would say just go there and research. There are tons of libraries available, right? So if you're a game developer, and if you think that you are actually good at C sharp, and you think that, okay, no, I don't know how to get into gaming. So first thing you would go is download Unity SDK, go to YouTube or go to Udemy, finish off a course on how to set up Unity, and how to do a basic game. There's everything visible in Unity website. So you develop a basic game that will give you that kick, right? Once you develop
Right,
a basic game, it
right,
does not need any sort of graphics, UI, or anything. There could be a person running here and there. There could be a ball moving here and there. So even that will give you satisfaction. If you do that, that confidence level will be different. And then if you like what you're doing, you will just explore, right? You'll just do a lot of research, and you'll spend more time on Udemy, Coursera, YouTube. YouTube, mein, there are hundreds of tutorials, so there's nothing specific, that you have to take this path and then you do this. No,
right, right.
it's about what you are
User
learning,
preference.
and where you think that you can add value to. So that's it.
Got it. Again, thank you so much for your time, for
No problem.
educating us on different possibilities in the gaming industry. I really appreciate that, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It was wonderful talking to you.